Hey, yo, check this out. We got a real great service provided for you right now. If you're a serious artist looking to perfect your craft, get your music out there in front of millions and millions of views, then look no further than right here. Hip Hop News Uncensored, Raw Hip Hop News, and the Uncensored True podcasts are now running specials to promote your product. If you're serious about promoting your product on YouTube, email me right here at dlsmediainc1@gmail.com or my brother OGod at hiphopun.com for further information. If you're serious about your craft, very affordable pricing. Let's go. Wait no further. Look into it right now. Email's in the description box. Hit us up. You already know.
Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother OGod from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam at Viral Hip Hop News. We're in the building. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, man, been busy last couple of days.
Yeah,
finally good to be back. What's good, my brother?
Yes, sir. We back in the building. We ready to give y'all some non-stop content. We actually going to get y'all caught up. We missed a few stories. We've been a little busy. Would have been grinding the last few days, but you know what is what it is. So we here, man, and it's been a lot that's been going on, you know, in the world, you know, of hip hop and just all around. You know, hip hop runs the world, you know, as we know. But we was sitting down the other night. We was listening to on my timeline came up the Yada Mean podcast. Shout out to Lord Jamar, you know, and he had Vlad, DJ Vlad on there. You know, Vlad TV. Everybody knows, you know, one of the top, you know, hip hop outlets, you know, out there right now. And one episode they kind of talked about, you know, that they released, you know, how he kind of got into hip hop and what he was doing. You know, talked about selling DVDs, and then they kind of, you know, they dropped the second episode. And then it was like the title, something like, you know, Vlad pretty much addresses the culture vulture, you know, phrase that's been thrown around and pretty much coined and created by Dame Dash. And shout out to him and Kiata Griggs. You know, they got a wonderful book called The Culture Vulture. So I showed Sam at the video. Then 2 came out. I think I sent it to you. Mm-hmm. We checked it out. And we're going to play a little bit. We want to give our little critique on it. We're going to play a little bit, you know, right now. But we're going to leave the link to the full podcast in the description box. Y'all can actually check out, you know, both parts. And shout out to that podcast. But yeah, we want to give our commentary on that, you know, and get y'all opinion in the chat room. So Sam, man, what you think about Vlad on Yada Mean podcast with Rod Dick and Lord Jamar?
Well, I mean, before I get in my one too, let's hear what he said.
Yeah. No.
We got some people that call you DJ Vulture, right? Okay. The term culture vulture has been made popularized by the homie Dame Dash. We had a discussion about what we feel the definition is, and you know what I mean? There might be degrees to it. What do you feel, DJ Vlad, about being called the culture vulture? Do you think it is a fair moniker? And, you know, do you think it's applicable to you? Right.
Well, I think from a certain standpoint, a person would consider me a culture vulture. You know, I'm a white Russian kid that makes money in a black art form. So under that definition in and of itself, that would make me a culture vulture. Other people might say, well, he's from the culture, and, you know, and he gives back. He has people like Jamar, and he has, you know what I'm saying, like different, you know, figures that uplift the culture. So my son, you know, even Big U from the Rolling 60s, you know, one of our really big interviews talked about how he came from this life, and now he has lowered the gang violence in LA, helped to lower it to a time from when there wasn't any gangs. You know what I mean? He has a program where he goes and diffuses situations, you know, from all the different neighborhoods around LA. So I try to definitely give back. So from that definition, someone might say, well, no, he's not. It's a, you know.
Let's talk. Let me stop it right there. Oh God.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, great way to even start the conversation.
Facts.
With the question and then the answer from Vlad TV or DJ Vlad, excuse me. One thing that I brought up, and I said it, I texted it to you. I said it on our pre-production podcast that'll be out tomorrow. Shout out to our pre-production. We got some real dope things, dope content dropping right there. But I said I had a lot of respect for Vlad, and then you gave that was your reaction. Woo. You know
they're gonna roast you in the comments.
Well,
boy.
I mean, we're gonna be real about it. We're gonna let real recognize real quick, because he never dances around the question. We had Leo Cohen, he was on the Breakfast Club probably about a month ago now, and that question was also raised, and he danced around that motherfucker like a figure skater. You know what I mean? Who is Dame Dash? He didn't even acknowledge that man's existence. So to say that he answered that question directly would that's laughable. But he did definitely give us the keys and let us know that is no doubt he's a culture vulture. There's no doubt. By definition, according to the book, yeah, Vlad falls under the line of culture vulture. Now, one question that I asked you after reading the book, I immediately said, yo, Dame Dash, the conversation came up with Vlad TV about culture vulture. And we were two of the people that, I mean, there's no doubt in it. There's no getting around it. We called him a culture vulture. And Dame Dash didn't. And it kind of was like, damn, that piqued my attention. Why didn't Dame Dash? He's the creator of culture vulture. Why didn't he? So by definition, Vlad TV basically put himself in that put himself in that. And I really respected that, because he said by his definition alone, he does. But then he brings up the fact that he does do for the culture. And that was real interesting to me. He allows people like Lord Jamar, my son, different various Black artists to come on his platform and talk about basically whatever they want. Yeah, he asked them the questions, but they have open forum to talk about what they want. Content's content to Vlad. If it was something controversial, if he got into it with somebody, that shit's dropping regardless. What do you think about that and that argument? Oh, God, because like I said, we are two people that have called Vlad a culture vulture. We're also two people, as much as you fucking laugh at me and saying I respect him, I would think that you would you respect the dude too. So what do you think about what he had to say about being a culture vulture and what he's contributed to the culture? Is it enough? First,
let me throw this back. I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Are you excusing Vlad because he came up in the culture and interview he talked about, and we'll leave the link to the full interview in the description. Y'all can listen to him say it out of his own mouth. He talked about he kind of came up in a struggle. You know what I mean? He was selling DVDs and whatnot. And he never said he was broke. He said he was making like he had $100,000.
Vlad was not broke.
Right. He never broke. And then we know about the Rick Ross situation, so he calls himself a culture vulture. But newsflash, everybody. These labels and even a lot of these other hip hop outlets out there are owned by non-blacks who we would consider culture vultures. So I don't have a problem with you saying that you respect them. I don't have a problem with that, at all. I was kind of just, because he did what he had to do to get in the position. He's seen something, he says, with the YouTube, he has the website right now. So he just, carved out his niche, in the game. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I know that. But our thing is to provide, an alternative, not to complain about it. Yeah, we got to point him out who these people are, but provide the alternative. And then once you provide the better product, then the people will come to the better product. That's what I think we got to start to do, with this whole, situation. But most of these companies out here are not owned by us. So, that needs to change.
Well, I mean, you asked me the question, do I give him a pass?
Yeah. Are you giving Vlad, a pass because, he came up in the culture, and because Dame Dash doesn't necessarily call him a culture vulture? Does he get a pass?
Nah, Dame Dash doesn't speak for me, though. I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
By no means. I don't give him a pass.
He did coin the term, though.
But he coined the term, exactly. Right. So based off of his coin of him saying that, that's who I'm referencing it off of. But do I give Vlad a pass? A pass on what? Because we called him a culture vulture off the strength of, yeah, he has a lot of these black artists on here, but he talks about a lot of their law.
Yeah, but again, they're not forcing. He's not forcing them to. He's not a gun to their head saying answer.
Who's making them answer it?
Right.
He could equally. So he would equally have someone in that chair and go, "Yo, why the fuck are you asking me all these questions?" And that's just getting dropped. The only how you could beat somebody like that, you couldn't complain. And Rick Ross kind of learned this. You can't just beat him up. You can't talk shit on. Only how you can beat this is provide, the alternative, or, do it better than they do it. If not, it's just like everybody beating on drums and nobody cares. He's still making his money. People are still interviewing. They still giving him the information. So does he deserve his place in this conversation? Let's say,
he's a businessman.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he did what he had to do with his business. I mean, nobody gave him, anything per se. He's seen a niche in the business, and he exploited that niche. This is what America is. You know
I don't
what
think he gives a fuck about being called a culture vulture. He doesn't.
Right.
Whether somebody calls him it or not, I don't think that really bothers Vlad. He's going to continue to do what he does. You never answered the question, though, because I say I respect him, but you never said you did.
Right.
And you never talked about him being a culture vulture. So one, do you not respect Vlad TV for what he's doing? Does he not have a place proper in this conversation, in this culture? Should he be removed by bigger competition? Or I mean, what's your thoughts on Vlad? You ain't really said much about him.
My thought, first and foremost, I did I did my research. I wanted to see, how, I did it on him and the complex owner. They had a good special on that. And I wanted to see actually how, because I used to take a standpoint of being one of those people who just talked and complained about it. I'm like, you know what? How did he actually do this? And I seen how, I was like, okay, he just did this, and this. And instead of being the people, even like when you talk about when we had this cluster of hip hop, platforms, and we talked about that, in our personal time.
Right.
It was like, you had the world stars, this, and this. And it kind of like one's kind of separated themselves, and went to the top, and it just is what it is. And why that happened is because people, regardless of, what type of product they were putting out, their product was better than the other people's product, period. And the people flocked to those people. Nobody forced those people to go anywhere. The people wanted to go to these companies. They wanted to get the news from here. They wanted to go to these YouTube channels to get the information from these people because the way they package their product, period. And they got to the situation now where they're millionaires, and they got a lot of different hip hop. And now, do I respect, Vlad TV is the question.
Yeah, let me add this on this before you answer that question, because we both know how difficult it is to not only provide just exceptional content, but to get it to the viewer, to get it to the consumer. We know Google, like you said, it's a cluster of people. It's not easy to get it, not only to give them quality content, but then to get in front of their faces. So that in itself, for Vlad TV to be able to do that, for Vlad to be able to do that, I think is commendable in itself too. So go ahead and answer your question.
No, it's just I agree with you. He just, first of all, everybody's kind of doing the same thing. He wanted to carve out a niche, so he said, look, we're going to start just doing original content, doing our own interviews, sitting down, putting somebody, whether I'm there or not, putting them in a nice little background. I'm going to bring these people on, whether it be B-list, C-list, whatever. I'm going to bring them on. I'm going to put these interviews. I'm going to talk about, things. And I'm going to not only do that, I'm going to get a website. I'm going to invest in that. I'm going to invest in learning copyright, which people know, is in the marketing field, the way things are worded, and he put it out there. Now, my thing is that people can say what they want, but he's still getting the views. The people are still flocking. So does he need to be eliminated? I'll say no. No, I think, he has his place. World Star has their place. We have our place. Everybody has their place. But, he did what he did. He did what he did, and he's at where he's at.
No, I think you and I will both agree that. Well, okay, well, let me ask you this. Would you put him in the same bucket as you put a Leor Cohen, or as we do? Because we had a real good conversation about Leor, and I think both of us would, there's no denying that he definitely has done some rotten shit. And when it comes to the music industry, Culture Vulture, definitely he deserves that rank. He deserves that title. Do you put Vlad and Leor in the same conversation?
I don't put them in the same conversation. I don't, and I can look around and it's like, it's not a big shock to me where I see a Russian or Italian or Irish or somebody, in a position, a top position in hip hop, or up the street, or a hospital, or this. We don't have no institution that we really own. So it's not like a real big thing to me, to see, that these companies are rising to the top. My thing is like, now, us being young Black entrepreneurs, you don't tell me they can beat us at this. They can't beat us on the court. They not more intellectual than us. So how the hell they got the top hip hop platform? So I say beat they ass. That's all I say.
Well, it is more than content, because we could beat all day long with content, but we all know in order for it to be in front of people, you got to learn some other shit, and we got to cross our T's and dot our fucking I's and make sure that everything is taken care of so that we could get in front of the people. And I think that's where you see a Vlad kind of taken over because he understands the tech world of it. He had people that were doing coding for him and things like this. He understands that tech world, understands the importance of getting in front of people in a field in the internet where there's millions and millions of other people doing the exact same thing. We got to learn how to really play the game.
There you go.
We got to learn how to play the game.
There you go.
We sitting here thinking it's one game and it's a completely different fucking game. We ain't playing chess or checkers. Y'all playing baseball and they over here playing something, you know what I mean, completely different.
Yep.
Y'all got to understand the game that we're playing, and then maybe you'll start seeing us competing a lot heavier.
Miseducation of the Negro. We're not educated in the different things, you know. That's why we got to get educated. We got to learn this. Okay, in order to be successful, this is what you got to do. You got to come up with an original content. You got to do, you know, stay with the current topics. You know, not only that, this is other things that go with. You got to be good at it. You got to be great at it. You got to be on time with it. You know, you got to have, you know, the web. It's a whole bunch of things that go into it that a lot of people do very well. Just look at your top hip hop platform and see what they do very well. If you're not doing that, you know, either up to par or better than them, you're not going to be in a conversation with them. It's simple business, simple competition. I don't see nothing wrong with it. We don't never have a problem going against each other outside, on the field, even in the classroom, debates and stuff like that. So why now? We up for the challenge.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I think the premise of this story is I think that we both don't mind Vlad around. I think we both have a certain amount of respect for what he's doing in his grind. And I mean, you still say fuck Vlad. I
mean, it's like, you know, he did what he did. You know, he doesn't hurt me. He did what he did. I mean, again, Vlad, we can go to Hot New Hip Hop. We can go to XXL. We can go to all these. We can go to the source. Yeah. Who sits on these boards? Who runs these companies? That's what I mean. So it's just like, it's not really, you know, that big of a thing to me. You know, he does what he does well and what he does. You know what I mean? I ain't saying that, you know, a lot of people love his interviews. Yeah. A lot of people love him. That's why they get the views. It's not a fluke that people are going over there and checking it out. It's not a fluke that people deal with our platforms. It's not a fluke that people go to the Breakfast Club. It is what it is. But let's compete. Let's see who's standing at the end. That's what it is. I'm not going to say that they can beat us. They're not better than us. So let's bust their ass. Yeah, they had a little you know, ahead. They had a little
head start.
You know what I mean? But we're gonna catch up. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So
I can't agree more.
You know, definitely. We can provide content. We can provide news. We can do all of that stuff. So definitely, man. But you're listening to the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sam, man. That was a real good segment right there, man. We appreciate that. Just a reminder, we're going to leave the link to that full interview in the description box. I could check out the Vlad interview on Yada Mean podcast. So yeah, man, your boy TK. Your boy TK. You know what I mean? I want you to run down the story, Sam, man, because I know this is a story that you're real intimate with, you know, on your platform. Tell us about the story. Then we'll get into, you know, his Cody pretty much about to testify against him.
Well, I mean, it was a young upcoming rapper from Texas. So I think he originally was born out in California and then he moved to Texas trying to get out of a situation. Young, he was 17 years old at the time. He apparently allegedly murdered another young brother, unfortunately. And then he went on the run and made an album, The Release of the Race. TK has received ultimate stamp of approval from a slew of rap artists. But the thing about The Race that went crazy, went viral on YouTube, I think at the time in 2017, he was at like 20 million views, a couple weeks into it going, drop it. And then it's probably going crazy now. I haven't checked the numbers recently. But The Race was supposed to be a rap about the murder that he committed while he was on the run from the cops. So this is why he sits in jail. A real sad situation, real young upcoming rapper. And now he sits in a situation where he's going to be fucked up for a long time.
Right.
Man.
Right. Now, in this case, you know, he has some accomplice, you know, with him. Now, the prosecutors right now, you know, are going to weigh the capital murder charge against one of the accomplices named Ariana Barant, looks like, which allows a 22-year-old woman, you know, to plead guilty to an aggravated robbery in exchange for a 25-year prison sentence. You know, the Star Telegram reported. Now, prosecutors had previously struck a similar deal with another suspect, Megan Holt, like Barat. Now, if Holt testifies truthfully against TK and her co-defendants, which include Sean Robinson and Jalen Bell, she will be allowed to plead guilty to aggravated robbery in exchange for a 20-year prison sentence. So pretty much, you know, his co-defendants, you know, are going to now, you know, turn in on him, you know, to get a lighter sentence. What do you think about that now?
They don't really give motherfuckers a choice, man. They don't. They put you in a situation where they It's either your life or somebody else's, and it really goes like you really find yourself in that situation, coming to a real harsh reality where you realize loyalty in this shit don't matter, respect don't matter. If you get involved in this life, you get in a situation, they're telling on you.
Yeah.
They're fucking telling on you.
That's they throwing them football numbers at you.
Whether you did it or not. Don't be one of them people of interest where they want to get your ass, because you can rest assured they're telling on you. So it just goes to show you this is a real sad ending, or it's looking like another sad event to a sad story, man. That's all I have to say. There is no loyalty in this game, man. The young kids need to realize
TK,
that now,
was he real talented though? Was he pretty talented? I never really got into his music too heavy.
You're a young rapper.
Right.
One of the young bulls.
Right. Gotcha.
He resonated with the young. So for us to sit here on our grown man shit and really have a conversation about what TK was doing at 17, it really wouldn't make sense. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to disrespect what the boy was doing, because he had 20 million views in a couple of weeks. That ain't no denying that shit. Numbers don't lie.
Right.
And let me look it up what it's doing right now. But it's like, yo, he definitely had talent. He was he reminded people of Bobby Smurder a lot.
Okay.
You know, I mean, had that vibe. So
Word.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, man. But you're listening to the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God and Sam, man. We're going all the way in today. If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure you share this video. Sam, man, got those numbers. What was he doing?
143 million.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But speaking of the numbers, though, man, and speaking of young rappers and connecting, you know, with the youth and the adults and all that, and the generational gap, get the Strap video drop with my man Casanova 2X, Uncle Murder, 50 Cent, and your boy, your favorite rapper, 6. Now you told me you seen it first. You was like, yo, man, you got to check this video out. And the first thing you said was like, damn, like, you know, 6ix9ine verse was ass. I'm keeping it, it's uncensored truth, right? He said 6ix9ine verse was ass. He pretty much fucked up the whole song. And then when you popped it on and put it on in the car, I'm like, man, he's inviting grown men to his private, and he's talking about this and that, and I don't know, man. But great song, great song. You know, saying, man, talk about that shit.
Nah, man, that shit came on when Casanova came in and the beat dropped. I was like, oh yeah, I felt like it took me back to those days. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, I'm about to rock to this shit. Drop the windows, bump this shit. Word. Casanova did his motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? Then Uncle Murder came in and did his thing, and then I heard 6ix9ine. Now I want to say this to all the people that support 6ix9ine that are going to call us haters right now. And you can call us haters all you want, because I'm going to stick to my word. That shit was ass when he came on. Pause. So if you listening to that shit on the radio, because I'm one of the dudes that I didn't grow up just being able to watch every fucking thing. Some things we had to put in our headphones and listen to, right?
Yeah.
Or some things we had to rock on the radio. So I put myself back in that position, and I was listening to it, and I'm rocking, and I hear Casanova's part. And I may not know who the fuck Casanova is, but I know he just tore that verse up. And I may not know who Uncle Murder is, but I know he just smashed this verse. Pause. I hear 6ix9ine's part, and all you hear is suck this dick, put your mama dick. Where?
But he keeps saying that. He said it to Luda. He said it to like mad different people. Yeah, I don't get it, man.
And we wasn't trying to hear nothing super lyrical on there. We wasn't expecting to hear bars, but you got to talk that shit on this kind of record. They was in there talking that shit. 50 came and brought it back home. But 6ix9ine, anybody who loves hip hop can't really say with a fucking authentic tongue that verse was dope. That shit was
but at the end of the day, it don't matter. It does for people like us and real hip hop heads, but it don't matter, because it's going to be a hot 6ix9ine was on it. That's it.
It matters, bro. It matters.
I feel you.
It matters.
I feel you.
It matters because if the higher this dude starts going, he's getting out of the YouTube realm, and he's getting out of the Instagram where it's just his fans. You on a fucking record with 50. Get the Strap. That shit's everywhere. Yeah. You on the mainstream. Now real hip hop heads is listening to you, and you obviously don't give a fuck about your artistry. And it's a shame, because you shouldn't get opportunities like getting a feature with Nicki or getting a feature with 50 and Casanova based off of you talking shit about other rappers.
But still, so is it a shot at 50, Murder, and Casanova and the people that's doing songs with this dude? Is it a kind of shot at them that's kind of flip that around?
Am I throwing a shot at him?
No, I'm just saying, like, is it a shot? Like, why are you even fucking with this dude? I mean, I ain't trying to be a hater, but no, I'm just keeping it in the buck.
It's clear why they fucking with him.
All right,
it's clear.
Enough said.
It ain't because of his bars.
Read between the lines.
It ain't because of his bars.
Read between the lines podcast.
All right, the new one.
The
new one. We got 2 coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Read between the lines. Maybe we might keep it, but that, we'll write that down.
Yeah,
definitely.
man, just throw that on the joint. Segue into 50 Cent, because we just talked about Get the Strap. You had something going on with 50, with the legal matter. We reported it here at the Uncensored podcast that he got into a little bit of a situation with Hip Hop DX,
man,
the huge hip hop platform. We all know that. Suing them, had a little legal matter. We talked about it. We were a little bit on the side of Hip Hop DX in that matter.
Right.
Talk about it, man.
Well, yeah, 50 Cent, has reportedly, resolved his legal battle with Hip Hop, DX. They did publish a picture, without, his consent. Now, the owners of Hip Hop DX, according to the article, offered Mr. Jackson a judgment in the amount of $20,000 to resolve his claims. And this was by way of 50 Cent's lawyer, Stephen J. Sava. And this was articles on by way of The Blast. So they spoke to his lawyer. So so they're reporting that 20 racks. And I heard the actual story. I kind of laughed like, damn, like really 20 racks, 50. But anyway, yeah, they got to pay him that for using this picture. So be careful out there, because 20,000 can break a lot of people. A site like that is big, Hip Hop DX, but people trying to come up in the game, you got to be careful what type of information is posted. And they did post some copyrighted material, and the fair use laws are all in effect. So yeah, now they did want $150,000 in damages, but they did set up for 20,000. So that is what it is. What do you think about that, Sam?
I think it's just a headache going from both parties. I don't think either one of them is shy from going to court. They know if they were going to be petty about it, which they both could have been petty about it, the amount of money they both could have lost dragging this shit along, trying to fight one versus the other. So although it is very petty for 50 Cent to take 20K from them, it looks like the situation is resolved and both parties can move on. They used to, if you in business and you trying to be a CEO, you trying to live that lavish lifestyle, also be ready to have them suits and get ready to go to court.
Yes, sir. But you're listening to the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sam. Man, we're going all the way in today. If you're listening on SoundCloud, if you're just coming over, peace. We appreciate you. Also, you already know our loyal YouTube subscribers. Go ahead and hit the like button and make sure that you share this video. I want to talk about this real quick before we get to a few of the other headlines. I actually seen this one. I just sat down. Cardi B, I think it was Instagram or something she went on. Kind of TMZ is kind of deeming this. The headline says Cardi B racist joke about Puerto Ricans, Haitians, and Mexicans. Let me play this, and then I'm gonna get you 1-2 on this.
Senor Sangria is a ready-to-serve
advertisements.
It's a company I started back in 2006.
How to pay the bills.
Shout out to everyone listening to us right now on SoundCloud. If you're checking us out on SoundCloud, any one of the platforms, File Hip Hop News, Uncensored, the Uncensored Truth podcast. We thank everyone. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the movements. Yeah, man, we got it going on right now.
Yeah, man.
Listening to this advertisement, getting into this Cardi B. I don't know, man. We're going.
God damn, this is a long ass advertisement.
They got to pay the bills.
Yes, sir. Sangria. Got me on to drink it. But here, she's playing right now. Here we go. TMZ.
Oh, etiquette with Vanilla Mousse Cupcake.
I am your host, Vanilla Mousse Cupcake. And have you ladies been in that situation when a man just left and the other one is coming? You don't have time to take a shower. Well, I got a solution for you. Now, you might call this the Puerto Rican bath, a Haitian shower, or a Mexican spa day. I like to call it a whole bath. This ain't a real shower now, so you gotta get in between your vagina, real nice and hard. Now, I like to keep it organic, so if you have hair down there, you might want to scrub that in, might want to clean your butt. You never know when a man want to eat your groceries. Next episode, we will show you how to make baked chicken just watching YouTube. See you then. That's it.
Now, man, I a couple thoughts went through my mind watching this, man. I can see how you laugh about it, but then a part of me is not laughing about it, man.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Nah, real talk.
It's not funny to me. Like
nah. I get. It's just like, man, like why? I ask, why you do something like that? Why? Why, Cardi? Why?
Go ahead, get on her.
But why though? I mean, all the stereotypes. About Hispanic, aka Black, whatever you want to call it, the names, that are out there, why, would you feed that, I mean, when I'm saying the stereotype, I'm talking about, the whole thing. And then you sitting up there talking about, after you fuck one dude and then another dude, we know this shit is a reality. Sometimes I understand that out there, some ratchet chicks out there, but it's just like, the stereotypical, thing of just keeping it going. To me, it's just another kind of reminds me of one of those old caricatures, like people might get on with you, doing stuff like somebody will paint their face like a clown type of thing. Like, why? Like, you're being forced to do it. Not saying she was forced, but it seems like something that somebody would want to force somebody to do to demean them or their culture or their people.
Oh God,
I'm
should be noted.
It
should be noted because I'm just reading this now. Because one thing is, I don't disagree with anything you said. Completely agree with everything you said. It's like, damn, why do that? But let me just put this out there, and maybe you may change your narrative. This was a skit that was filmed 3 years ago, before Cardi B's teeth was fixed and before everything came about. This is just surfacing now. And this is interesting to me because although it was ignorant as fuck, you're talking about a woman that was in a different space, in a different place, at a different time, Cardi B, than the mother, the public figure that she is now. Now, if this was done till yesterday, off the heels of her having this child, off the heels of this record, all the.
You sure it was 3 years ago?
I'm reading it right here. A skit that was filmed over 3 years ago before Cardi B fixed her teeth. This is according to Hot New Hip Hop.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Has surfaced thanks to TMZ. The clip, which pokes fun at Haitians, we all know, is expected to air on Rip Michaels' upcoming MTV comedy show, Off the Rip.
But doesn't matter, though, that it was 3 years ago. I know you try to paint that picture like to say, see, and people can grow. I'm not saying that people can't grow, but she did it.
Okay, okay. It does. It matters in this sense. She did it, and it's fucked up. But who's more to blame in this situation? Her or the people that's fucking dropping it and disseminating this information and then painting her as a picture and saying that she dropped racist toward Haitians, Hispanics, and Mexicans. Now you're painting this picture. You didn't say that this shit was 3 years ago. The headline is Cardi B does this now, off the heels of being a mom, off the heels of all this. I am not defending this woman in what she did. I'm defending her in a sense of it's fucked up that this shit could come out 3 years ago. Do you want something 2 years from now to come out something that you said 5 years ago?
But
do you want that shit to go down?
People want to say you did it, and people are going to say when you turn on the video, regardless of what the headline is, what is she saying in the video? She's saying, I'm telling you what people are going to say. I'm not saying I agree with it. They saying that she's saying that if you know,
all right, fuck what the people
Haitian
say.
bad, Puerto Rican bad.
What do you agree with?
What do I agree with?
What are you sitting here saying? You gonna sit there?
First of all, I don't even know if a reason I'm asking is I didn't really see her teeth up, on
they fucked up.
They fucked up. Okay,
they fucked up.
Okay, I want to pay attention. Okay, so maybe you got. I was looking at the hair. I thought her hair was kind of short. Now maybe I'm wrong.
It is.
Okay, but maybe that's nothing. That happens. Women change their hair all the time. Right. So it was 3 years ago. How does Cardi feel about it? She saying anything?
She hasn't, but she's probably losing her fucking mind.
Yeah,
she's probably losing her mind.
But she did it, dog.
She was ratchet. And I hate even using that fucking word. It makes me sick. It's one of the most demeaning words. It's 2018's version of the N-word.
Right.
It is. It really is. But she was fucking ratchet. It was what it was. And she would admit that. She did shit that wasn't against the grain. She wasn't a mama. She wasn't out here. She didn't have a child back then. She wasn't doing things out here characteristic of what mothers and grown-ass women would do. Dame Dash in his book Culture Vulture talked about one of his biggest mistakes in life was the Big Pimpin' video, one of our favorite fucking videos when he was pouring champagne on women. God forbid somebody does that to his daughters now. He grows, he evolves, and he doesn't want to be judged for what he did years ago. It'd be a fucking shame and a travesty if we all were judged for what we did years ago. Hell yeah, what she did was ratchet. She was ratchet, but she shouldn't be.
You need to hire him as your spokesperson, Cardi B. You need to hire this dude right here because, yo, I mean, I love Cardi B. You know what I mean? I love her personality and stuff like that. But I'm just like, damn, why? I didn't expect to see that shit.
Nah, it's fucked up. They do it real well. She put the ammo out there, and this should be a lesson learned to people even before you get into the game, because I know how that is. You're trying to gain success. I don't even know if this was pre Love and Hip Hop, because I don't even know how that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even know. But when you're trying to get into the game, you do shit trying to get your name out there. You're not really thinking and real mindful of the impact you're going to have for young people or people around you, your culture. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about getting paid so you can get out your fucked up situation. And this is one of these situations where this may be biting her in her ass, but I'm not going to judge her on this from 3 years.
You know what? I'm going to keep it a buck too. Like when you really look at, the female hip hop artists, with the exception of like a few of them, all of them is kind of talking that way in their songs any damn way. I mean, if you really think about it, we can go, I don't want to put their names out. Fuck it. Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, they always talking that, that talk back.
We love that shit.
Nicki, Menage a Trois. So it's like, It is what it is, right?
You needed women to buy the records. You needed men wanting to fuck you so they can take their women to these concerts so they can watch you. You needed to do that. Sex sells. They needed to do that. And they were, I mean, they are some of the legends in this game for doing that. And they had dope bars to follow it.
But they were wrong, right? We can't say it was right to do that.
I mean, biblically, yeah, they were wrong.
Right.
If you want to get all religious on me.
I mean, so.
I mean, they didn't paint a good picture for our youth if that's what you want to go to. But if we don't know what they were doing on the street, they would sit there and provide music. No different than the brothers.
We'll have this conversation another time. It's not a good time for this conversation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to do it on one of these other podcasts. We about to
Yeah, definitely,
sure.
man.
That was a good segment as well, man.
Yes,
on the
sir.
Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, myself saying, man.
Yeah.
Right here, Raw Hip Hop News Uncensored, the Uncensored Truth podcast, killing it each and every day for y'all nonstop content. Oh God, you got anything over there on the ticker before I get going?
Yeah, we got a lot, man. We got actually, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yeah,
You can tell me about the Birdman apologizing to Weezy.
Yeah,
finally.
man. Well, we all know the historic bullshit that's been going on with Lil Wayne and Birdman. Birdman being the daddy of Lil Wayne, or so he was for years and years and years. And we all know their situation kind of came to an abrupt end with Birdman owning Lil Wayne a little over $51 million, or if not more. They settled for $51 million probably earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, late last year. Well, Birdman, he publicly had some words for Lil Wayne at Weezy Mania or something like that for a Weezy Fest, my bad.
Okay.
He said something at Weezy Fest. Lil Wayne's on stage. Let's see what he has to say.
This day was gonna come, but I ain't know when it was gonna come. But this nigga right here, the best nigga, the realest nigga, the illest nigga, and I wanted to apologize to my nigga worldwide and let them know. That nigga put his life in my hands, and I'm gonna keep it real with that nigga go through this to the day we die. This why I'm seeing me for death, nigga. You heard me? What's up?
All right. Birdman apologizes. Your thoughts, Oh God?
I really don't give a fuck. I say, nah, it is, ain't shit, it's been a crazy situation, man. I don't, we're kind of on the outside looking in with that whole situation. Obviously, it appeared that he owed him a lot, of money, but it's just like, damn, that's kind of late.
I'm gonna flip the script on you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is he apologizing for him for ending his career?
Woo! I mean, you've been running around saying that shit. I hope Weezy don't hear it. You've been running around saying, you said Wayne has nothing left. You said he's done. Put a fork in him. He can't rap no more like he used to rap.
Nah, I didn't say all that.
Okay.
All
right.
But I do say he's done. I don't think that the Carter 4.
I mean, if he's done, he can't rap like he used to rap.
I don't think he wants to rap like he used to rap.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it came from my mouth. You got to blame Pusha T for that. He told me that, and I believe him. You know what I mean? Well,
Damn.
Flash Without the Fire, another multi-platinum rapper trapped and can't retire. And they blame Birdman for that. Fucking Pusha T, classic album, Daytona. But he blamed Birdman for that. And I don't know if Birdman's apologizing to him for screwing him out of money, because Birdman has been notorious for years and years and years before the settlement was reached that he didn't owe that man nothing. He always took care of that man. That man made millions and millions of dollars with him. He was kind of defensive when it came to him owning money, but he definitely just apologized. He didn't say what for. So I have a right to assume. And my assumption is he's apologizing for ending his career, because since he's been released from the Young Money contract, since he's been released from Birdman, where's the record? Where's the album?
It's coming, man. Trust me.
Damn.
Sometimes things take time, to cultivate into, since he's been off, so it got to be perfect. So he's probably just taking his time. I think it's going to be a real good album, man. For real talk. I don't think he's going to flop after all this time.
Nah, you know what? And I've been talking shit about Wayne, but I had top 5 on Jadakiss joint, and I was listening to his record with Wayne, and it was just like, damn, Wayne's dope.
He's a fucking beast. He been going hard for a minute too.
Wayne's dope, and that just came out a couple years ago. So I think Wayne still definitely has something in the tank if he wanted to, but I don't know if he wants it anymore. That's just real,
right? I mean, that is what it is, man. But hopefully, we was always kind of, hoping that they got that resolved, because they did make a good, team for a long time. I mean, Wayne was hot for a long time. So sometimes, you do cool off, but I'm definitely looking forward to hearing that Carter, man. Come on now. That's some of his best, work ever, them Carters.
I hope I'm wrong. And I hope it comes and hope it's fire, because I don't want to be right, but I think he's done.
Yes, sir. But you're listening to the Uncensored Truth. Wayne's done, y'all. Podcast with your brother, Old God and the Sandman. We going all the way in today. I want to give a special welcome to the people listening on SoundCloud. And as you know, Our first love is YouTube. So shout out to y'all. Hit the like button. Make sure that you share this video. I want to talk about Jamil Hill. Jamil Hill, ESPN analyst being fired, Sam, man. Tell us about that. And you were saying also that Charlamagne has some choice words about the whole situation.
Yeah, well, if you know Jamel Hill, she was on she had a couple shows early on with Michael Smith. She's been in ESPN for a long time. They had they were hosting the 6 o'clock edition of Sports Center. If anybody who watches sports, they know that's the main time for Sports Center. But she got into a lot of let's just say a lot of shit when it comes to ESPN for her comments against the president, for her comments against this. She's very outspoken when it comes to racial issues when it comes to Black lives being killed in the streets for police brutality. She's definitely just vocal about it. Things that you don't typically hear on Sports Center. They get a little uncomfortable when you start hearing shit like that. Well, August is the end of her contract, so she will be pulled out. I don't know if the end of her contract. No. Matter of fact, they fired her. End of August, she's done, but they will be paying her to the end of August. She'll be finished. And this is something that I'm surprised did not happen sooner. Charlamagne the God has something to say about it, and I will read what he says right now. Yep, Deadspin nailed it. Gutless is the right word to describe ESPN and all these networks who have culturally clueless corporate executives who are really just a bunch of sneaky Trump supporters, and they can't have anyone telling the truth about their guy. Jamel simply doesn't have the complexion for the protection, and we not even going to discuss the role gender plays in this, because I guarantee it's a Caucasian with or without a penis at ESPN right now who said or done something way worse, but they're getting pushed out. This is why it's important that we own and control our own platforms, because they love our culture, but they don't love us. Thank God ESPN got to pay her the rest of her contract, and they better give her every dollar because she deserves all her reparations, because she was truly wrong. But I know she will be fine because she's way too talented not to be. Now watch all the MAGA people spread heavy helmets, hate speech all through my comments, but I don't give a shit because I am laying here on the couch watching Bubble Guppies with my daughter, and I'm not going back and forth with you mayonnaise flavored niggas. Have a blessed day. Woo. Your thoughts?
I mean, man, see, when you get to a certain position and you get solidified, and I'm not saying that Charlamagne is there. Fuck all that. It needed to be said that way. That needed to be said exactly that way. It really did, because not to beat the dead horse, and I'm gonna beat it. Fuck it, let's beat it. This is the Uncensored Truth podcast, so I gotta keep it real.
Beat it, pause.
We got a whole, history, of this going on in this country. Let's not see. We got a lot of people, and you talked about ESPN and not want to deal with those type of issues, and a lot of other platforms, not just ESPN, really kind of not want. It's kind of the equivalency of sweeping something under the rug. That would be the figurative term. We'll sweep it under the rug. So they don't want to deal with real issues that go on, like racism, like people getting shot down in the street, police brutality, etc. We can go on all day. A lot of your bigger platforms don't want to deal with those type of things, and we don't, as a people. When I mean people, we want to call us African American, Black people. We don't have the same protection, under the law, or under the corporation as other people. Facts. You know what I mean? So it needed to be said that way. And as Charlamagne said, he's going to get a lot of backlash. And that's the beautiful thing about America, man. You got a lot of different perspective and views. And I don't have a problem with anybody of any culture, any race expressing themselves, especially verbally, when they're expressing themselves, how they feel about the way they're being treated somewhere. That should be open. That's all I got to say about that, bro.
Yeah, well, she's getting a $2.5 million buyout. Her last day is August 31st, which is next week. So that $2.5 million should be pretty good. And I think this is a situation where it's a blessing in disguise. I'm sure all parties involved will be happy about it. I'm sure she's just as happy as getting the fuck up out of there as they're happy getting her up out of there. Right. So, I mean,
she's going to be good.
You painted it very well. At the end of the day, I couldn't agree more. And Jamel Hill's going to be all right.
Independent. Go independent. Do your own thing. I mean, that's we on that. That's the thing that Dame Dash pushes heavy. And that's all we've been doing the whole time. So that's only natural for us to do the independent thing. Go do your thing.
Right.
This controversy, your name, not even the controversy. I don't want to even put it like that, but the work that she's put in over the years speaks for herself. She's going to land definitely on her feet in a great, great situation. Period.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So you're listening to the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sam. And it's been a beautiful, beautiful show today. I want to turn it over to Sam, man. If you don't have anything else, man, that's all I got over here, bro.
Nah, I don't, but I would definitely give a shout out to our man TK Kirkland, August 20th.
Yes.
August, goddamn, I'm bugging.
I
October.
do the same thing all the time.
26th and 27th.
Yes,
My
sir.
month, my birthday month is going down. Caroline's on Broadway.
Yeah.
Your brothers right here at the Uncensored Truth Podcast will be in the building, as well as many other dope podcasts.
Yes.
Those names will be coming soon. We'll be dropping it right here on the Uncensored Truth Podcast. But if you go on either one of our social media platforms, those links in the description box, you'll see the big ass flyer. TK Kirkland's album release party, Gangsta Conversation, the comedy album by TK Kirkland, officially dropping that night. That's his album release party, hosted by Charlamagne the God at the Breakfast Club. Angela Yee be in the building, I'm sure. Envy will be in the building. It should be a real dope night. Most importantly, your boys will be in the building. We'll be doing the podcast live there, tearing shit up on both days, the 26th and 27th. Looking forward to that for sure.
Yes, sir, man. It's been a great one. I'm gonna give it a shout out real quick. I'm tongue twisted today. It's all good. A little bit of rust. You know what I mean? To the whole squad, man. You know, everybody on the team. You know, the Uncensored Truth. We're building that team. You know, every day. You know, and right now it's just really just me and him on Uncensored Truth podcast. Like you said, we don't have a lot of people, you know, on behind the scenes like that. But you know, we're building. So shout out to the people, you know, to y'all that support us and support us by continuing to like the videos and share them. And that's all I got, bro.
That's all I got, man. Listening to the Uncensored Truth Podcast, saying, man, oh God, until tomorrow, we out of here, man.
Peace.
Do me a favor, family. Hit the link in the description box. Purchase your very own new era viral hip-hop news hat. Like I said, the link will be in the description box right now. Don't wait. Don't miss out. Grab the hottest thing popping right now. The viral hip-hop news hats available in the link in the description box. Grab yours right now.